Hello, everybody. Laurel here. We're just going to wait for people to enter in, and we'll get started in about 10 minutes. So if you have a yoga mat, you might want to put it out, any kind of props that you might want. Sometimes a block, or maybe even actually this here could work as a block to put hands on. If you want a little bit of extra, or even a couple of firm pillows, or a couple of big books, that also could work. You can get a little bit creative if you like blocks. And for Shavasana, if you want a blanket or something, you might want to grab that stuff right now. And we'll get started pretty soon. Oh, and there's also a little chat box. And so if you wanted to put anything in the live chat, you can. I won't be looking at it during the class, but I'll see it after. So if you did want to add anything in there, please feel free. We'll get practicing soon. ready, we'll get started in just a couple of minutes. So if you want to, you can just begin by either sitting up tall or laying on your back. And if you're ready to drop in, go ahead and settle into your space. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to this yoga class. It's kind of a special class today, and we hope to offer it over the next little while at least. And so this class is specifically for all of our friends and family that work in healthcare. And we know that in healthcare, I can't read the things. Maybe I need to press. No, I don't. Okay. I can't read what you guys are. Oh, hi. Nice. This class is specifically for all the healthcare workers out there. And I myself am a healthcare worker, although right now I work in academia, so I'm not on the front line as much as I used to be. But I know that in times like this, it can be incredibly challenging. However, all the people working in healthcare, you are all a pretty resilient bunch of folks, you know. Many of you thrive under pressure. Many of you thrive in crisis. Like, this is when you shine. And some of you really thrive off of it. And it's still a huge toll on our bodies and our minds. And it's really important, I believe, for people in healthcare and who are the helpers out there, in whatever way that looks like, for us to spend a little bit of time every day, if possible, to really ground and tune in. And just to allow the nervous system to calm. So you might be feeling in your nervous system a little bit of anxious energy. You might be feeling more fatigued than normal. You might find it's difficult to concentrate. And a lot of that comes down to just how our bodies react to all of this stress that's going on in the world. And it is stressful. I think it's stressful for everybody, no matter how much it really is truly affecting your day-to-day life. That might not feel too different, but I know for me, I've been feeling a little bit lower energy I've been wanting to rest a little bit more. I've been wanting to slow down a little more. And for me, I feel like it's really my body telling me like the ways it needs to take care of itself. And for many people, calming down and slowing down and just kind of grounding, coming into that more silent space can be really challenging. But it can also be really regulating for the nervous system. So, when the nervous system is really activated, it's like, it might feel like tense and just like almost like vibrating. And so for some people, that calming, like that more like slow, deep breathing, really allows the nervous system to regulate. And for some people, it requires a little bit more of intensity in the movement first before we can then regulate. And both is okay. But the overall idea is that we're practicing in such a way that we're able to listen to our own bodies and we're able to honor that wisdom that we have and that we can really hold ourselves in as much compassion as we hold for all the people around us. So that's what this practice is all about. So maybe just starting here, laying on your back. And you can bend the knees and place the feet on the floor. And perhaps just place your hands on your body. I'm going to move back to my mat now that I've read the comments here. And so laying on your back, knees bent, and perhaps placing one hand on the chest and one hand on the lower belly. And if it feels comfortable and nourishing for you, you can go ahead and close the eyes. Otherwise, maybe just kind of gaze downward. And we're together going to take a few really, really deep breaths. So breathing in and out through the nose, if that's possible for you. Filling up the lungs fully from the bottom to the middle up to the top, and then exhale. Emptying from the top to the middle down to the bottom. And so you might be able to feel your hands resting on your body, just start to sort of rise and fall with the breath. And take a moment here to really tune in. Now, if you find that your mind is really, really busy, what I kind of recommend is maybe just take a moment and look around the space around you and just kind of move your head and see the space that you're in, noticing any colors, noticing maybe some objects, paintings hanging on the wall or things like that, and try to let go of any thoughts of like, oh, I should be folding laundry or anything like that. And instead, just kind of take in what's really present in your environment. And then feel all the points where your body touches the floor. And so feeling your feet on the ground, your back on the ground, the back of your head on the ground. Allowing this grounding to bring you to a centered place. And that centered place is generally feeling that physical and the emotional body together with the breath. And so just bringing yourself here into that space. And so connecting here again with your deep breathing. Feeling the breath expand through the lungs, the rib cage expands. And then on the exhalation, all of that just settling. And perhaps taking both of your hands and just placing them over your heart center, your energetic heart center. Or maybe if it feels more natural for you, you can place it over your abdomen or the low belly. And so just placing your hands there and take a moment to check in and ask yourself, like, how is my heart doing today? How is my heart doing? And perhaps it's feeling open, maybe it's really closed, maybe your heart feels tired or sad. And then imagining with every breath you take, that breath kind of traveling through the body right to the center of your heart. And not just the anatomical heart, but that energetic center right behind the sternum. We call this Anahata chakra. It's the heart chakra. And so sending that feeling of compassion to your own heart space, holding that. Just like how you might hold some of the most loved people in your own life, holding yourself in that way. And then release the arms down alongside the body and just start to rock the pelvis a little bit, forward and back. So just these little pelvic rocks helping to get a little bit of energy moving through the sacrum and the lower body. You might feel the lower back lift up off the ground and then settle back down on the ground. And then from here, with the feet rooted down to the floor, just extend the right leg up to the sky, lift it high. And then we're going to bend the knee a little. And then extend it up and bend the knee. Continuing with that, just with a little bit of connection with the breath. Rotate the ankle around. And then slowly lower that leg right down to the ground. Squeeze the left knee in towards the chest. Hug it in. Taking a few really, really deep breaths in. And then release that down to the ground. Both feet on the floor and extend the left leg up now. So we're going to straighten the left leg, flex the foot, and then just a gentle bend and flex. Okay. And so just simply moving with your breathing and noticing how this feels within your body. Are you able to stay with your breath? Are you able to stay centered in your body, your emotional body, your physical body, your mental body, all of it present here? And it's okay, the mind will wander. And then gently lower that leg right down to the ground. Squeeze the right knee in towards the chest, hugging in. Taking a couple really deep breaths here. And then draw both knees in towards the chest. You can either rock yourself forward and back, coming all the way up to sit, or you can roll to your side and then lift yourself on up. And so moving here onto hands and knees. You can spread the hands, or spread the fingers, I should say, with the hands right beneath the shoulders. Feel the spine nice and long and slowly begin to move the spine. And so moving here again with your breath. And often, for many people, tension and stress, even when it's around us, right? Even if it's not us that's personally experiencing it, it often manifests in the body as a headache, as grinding the teeth, as the digestion being thrown off. It affects our sleep, even our appetite. And so here we're taking a few moments to really connect with the physicality of the body and also just listening. How does the body want to move? And maybe you begin to circle the hips around, perhaps the head and the neck move with that, trusting what your body is telling you. And then if you're rotating, you could rotate in the opposite direction. And know that child's pose is always available. And so let's all just take child's pose, sink the hips back, forehead to the ground. Taking just a few breaths here. And so allowing the exhalation to be a little bit longer than the inhalation. Slowly here, come back up onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes, lift your hips right up to the sky. And maybe pedal the heels down to the ground one at a time. Feeling the hips reach up and allow that nice long stretch through the back. Taking a deep breath and then exhale a sigh through the mouth. And maybe again. From here, look forward, walk the hands and feet together, lift up just halfway. Hands can move onto the shins or maybe they're on a block. Feel the spine lift out, soften the knees a lot, exhale, fold forward. Release the head and neck down, maybe even cross the arms and shake the head. Yes, and shake the head, no. Inhale, soften the knees, and come right up to stand, arms up. Exhale, lower the hands down to the heart. So you're going to stay at the top of the mat. Feel your feet root down to the ground. So grounding is so important, right? When we're working hard, when we're out in the world, when we're using our brains so much, finding a moment to ground, to pause, to feel the feet, to feel the legs. Just feel that connection with the earth beneath you. Keep the knees nice and soft as you inhale. Sweep the arms up to the sky, gaze up. Exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, arms reach up. This time, bring the fingertips together. And then exhale, draw the energy down. Inhale, arms reach up, continuing with this. And so I grew up around the Midwest. I grew up in Canada, actually, and we had fireflies where I lived. And when I do this, I like to think that I'm catching the fireflies. And the fireflies are all of the thoughts, the worries, all of the things going on around me, all of that like really fast kind of energy that I'm reaching out, I'm gathering them up. I'm just gently collecting them and drawing them down, almost like it's saying like, it's okay. You can stop fluttering around for the moment and just pause. One more deep breath in and grab on now to your left wrist, reach over to your right side. And inhale back to center and over to the other side. And I'm not sure if you're seeing my right or my left, but it doesn't matter. We're always doing both sides. Release the hands, clasp them behind the back. Lift up through the chest and now roll the shoulder blades towards one another. Extend the arms up behind you. Take a deep breath in, right to that heart center again. Feel the feet spread a little bit wider. Soften the knees and then just allow yourself to fall forward. The arms extend up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release the hands down to the floor. And so here you can use your block or have the hands on the ground, but just step the right foot back. Feel the spine nice and long. Slowly here, just pulse a little bit. So we're just going to pulse up and down. And again, this is just different ways to move the energy in the body, because the energy sometimes gets a little bit stuck. So take a moment to pause, drop the right knee down to the floor and just hang out here. How is the energy feeling in your body? Are you feeling overly activated? If so, maybe this is a good chance to breathe, center, ground, maybe even open your eyes and see the things around you. Allow your mind to become completely focused here on the present. And now we're going to rock forward and back. And so begin by straightening the front leg and then lunging deeply. And it's okay if the front leg doesn't get fully straight. Just move to the point where your body is like, that's good. Right? Remembering that you always have a choice in this practice. You always have a choice to pause, to take child's pose, or even to do something completely different with your body if that's what your body is calling for. Lunging deeply into the front knee. Keep the right hand on the ground, extend the left arm up to the sky. Breathe it in. And then take that hand that's up in the air and you're going to reach it all the way forward and touch the ground. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale, lower. Inhale it up. And exhale, lower. One more time. Exhale, lower the hand to the ground. Step back, hands and knees. Sink it back, child. And taking a few really full breaths. And so that idea of grounding, of centering, of orienting, this is something that I can often, encourage somebody to use, say if they're in the middle of a panic attack and they're having a hard time staying oriented into this space, into this time. Right? Often with anxiety, the mind races ahead. And so that's just a little tip to bring oneself back to the here and now, because this is what we have. This is where we are. Now slowly moving hands and knees again. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up high. Gazing up towards the navel. And then walk the feet up towards the hands. Soften the knees. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold down. This time, hands root down to the ground. Step the left foot way back. I like to have the hands on the inside of the front foot, but you can choose if they're in the inside or the outside. Keeping the back knee up off the ground, just start with that little pulsing motion. And maybe move that, go in and out of this movement with your breath. And if you're a person that needs a little bit more intensity to help move the energy through the body, you can do that. You can move a little faster. And lower the knee down towards the ground. You can use the block if you have one, and then begin to rock it back, straightening the front leg, and then lunge it forward. And so the legs hold a tremendous amount of energy. Right? The glutes, the psoas, the hamstrings, the thighs, they're all part of that fight or flight response. And for many of us right now, we're in that other stage, which is the freeze stage. But for people that are out still working in the world, you might be in a little bit more of that fight or flight stage. I think sort of our whole world is in some stage of fight, flight, or freeze. And it's okay, it's a normal reaction to a really abnormal situation. And then lunging deeply into the front knee. You can lift the right arm up to the sky. Maybe the back leg lifts up as well, maybe not. And then extend the arm forward, reach it to the ground. Inhale, lift it high. Exhale, reach. Inhale. And again. Lowering the hand to the ground, step it back onto hands and knees. And then just sink back so that you're kneeling. And if you do have a block, I recommend kind of sitting back on it. Lower your hands down towards your lap. Close the eyes if that feels safe to you. If it doesn't, the eyes can just gaze at the floor. And you can even try out both ways and just see which way feels a little bit more stable, supportive, nourishing for you. You might feel the heartbeat moving a little bit more quickly than when we first started. And together we're going to do a breathing exercise. And so this breathing exercise is called alternate nostril breathing, or Nadi Shodhana. And what we're going to do is take the right hand, lift it up, and you're going to take the first and second finger and place it right here in between your eyebrows. Now the right thumb is going to be placed over the right nostril, and then we're going to switch, and either the pinky or the ring finger, maybe even both, are going to end up being placed on the left nostril, right? So we're going to kind of go side to side. And so first, right, just take a moment and notice what side of your nose are you breathing most through? And perhaps it's kind of balanced, or maybe it's all one side or the other. If you can't tell, you can put your hands under and see which side you feel the breath coming through stronger. And this switches throughout the day. So now taking your first two fingers, place it over the third eye space. Place the right thumb over the right nostril and plug that. Take a deep breath in through the left nostril. You're going to plug with the left, release the right, and then exhale through right. Inhale right, plug, exhale left. Inhale left, plug, exhale right. Continue on your own. And so alternate nostril breathing is a great way to calm the nervous system. And if all you can do in a day is maybe do this for, say, 10 breaths, that would be excellent. You could teach this to the people you work with. I once did this. I was going in for a surgery and I was feeling really worried and anxious, and I was hooked up to all the things, and I could see my blood pressure and my heartbeat, and it was so high because I was so nervous. And so I started doing this breathing while I was lying there on a surgical table, and I could see on the screen all my vitals kind of coming back down to a healthier baseline. So finishing on the right by exhaling on the right, release the hand, and then breathe through both sides of the nose. This balancing between the right and the left side of the body, the right and the left brain of the body. Right? It's so vital, this balance. It's like the balance between the yin and the yang. The balance between strength and softness and compassion. From here, I'm going to invite you to lie down on your back one more time. And as you lie back, you can have the feet beneath the hips and take the right ankle, cross it over the left knee. So you may want to just pause and hang out here. Again, tune into that wisdom in your own body, listening to that. Right? If you're like, I just need to rest, perhaps this is the most nourishing space for you. For some of you, you might choose to bring the left knee in towards the chest, grasping on behind the thigh or maybe even in front of the shin. Staying steady with that deep yogic breath, right? That deep diaphragmatic breathing. And take a moment to just scan through the body. And so as you scan through the body, you'll likely feel tension in your piriformis muscle, your glutes, maybe your hip or outer thigh. And in addition to that, what else do you notice in your body? The feeling of your hands pressing on the back of the left thigh. Perhaps there's a tightness in the shoulders or in the jaw. Maybe there's a feeling of heaviness. Or perhaps there's a feeling of agitation, boredom. There could be a whole array of sensations, of emotions. They're already here. I invite you to just be with them. Being with them with some care and compassion for that sensation, for that tightness, even for that, maybe there's a feeling of gratitude or hope or relief. Breathing into that space. Setting the intention of your breath. This breath is a beautiful energy within the body. We need our breath. So that intention of the energy of the breath being sent through the body. Almost as if we're, drinking in a beautiful healing treatment through the whole body. And gently release the left foot down to the ground. You're just going to let the knees drop over to the left side. And maybe the foot roots down to the ground, like how mine is here, the top foot. If that's not comfortable, you can stack one knee over the other. Just extend the arms open. And then we're gonna do a little dynamic twist. So go ahead and roll right into a bit of a fetal position, and then go ahead and flop yourself open into a spinal twist. And then we're just gonna roll back, almost like rolling with like some real kind of heaviness in the limbs, and then opening up. And so just moving a little bit on your own. And next time you open the arms up, roll back, feet beneath the knees, and cross the left ankle over the right knee. So you may pause here if you choose to. Right? And again, ask yourself, like, what is most nourishing for my body and mind? Is it being here? Or perhaps it's drawing the knee in. There's no competition. There's no better than. Letting go of any ideas of striving or grasping for something, anything. And just giving yourself permission to simply be. And so again, just scanning through the body and noticing what is present here. Is there a tightness in a certain part of the body? And if so, can you allow the intention of your breath to move to that space? And there's no need to push away or get rid of any kind of discomfort, right? Suffering is a part of life. Sadly, I wish it wasn't. But it's a part of life that every being experiences. Some more than others. And with pain, there also comes pleasure. With sadness, there comes happiness and joy. With stress, there comes ease and peace. And so whatever it is that is in this moment, know that it's here right now. Holding it with that compassionate space, right? With those compassionate arms, almost as if it's like a new mother, like holding her baby, right? In this really gentle and tender way. Noticing if there's a way to hold yourself with this same compassion and care. And gently release the right foot down to the ground, and you're going to drop the knees over to the right side. Again, you can have the left foot just placed on the ground or knee over knee. The arms extend open to a T. And then we're going to roll over into a bit of a fetal pose. And then open up to that spinal twist. So just moving here, allowing the arms to be so heavy. It's almost like the minimal amount of energy to roll over is what you're doing. Almost as if we're kind of unraveling. And then lying on the back one more time, feet on the ground. Just squeeze the knees in. You're going to grab onto the soles of the feet and draw the knees in towards the armpits. So this is sometimes called happy baby pose, like when little babies like find their toes for the first time and then they're kind of always in this position. And so pausing here, feel the sacrum root down to the ground, maybe even rocking it a little bit, forward and back and side to side. Maybe even rocking the whole body a little side to side. And release the feet down towards the floor. Just laying here for a moment. Now, for some people, especially if there's a fair bit of stress and tension in the body, sometimes before we can really, really settle down, it's good to just kind of release it. And so you might be feeling like, oh, I'm so chill, I just want to like lay back right now. And if that's the case, amazing. Just do that. If you're a person that still has this like jittery energy in the body, I invite you to actually stand up. And what you're gonna do is just shake the body. So you're gonna shake, 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 shake. And this is what animals do. If you ever see an animal that like has a stressful moment, like they've, I don't know, like been chased by something or something like that, they kind of shake for a moment, they shake it off. And then it sort of discharges that last little bit of energy. And so if that was what you decided to do, I invite you to then come right back. And now lie down. Just allowing your body to rest down to the ground. And perhaps the legs are straight, maybe the knees are bent. Perhaps the eyes close. And here, just taking rest. And so the idea of Shavasana is to allow the body to deeply integrate into the healing that we just did. Shavasana is incredibly important. I encourage you to stay in this for as long as your nervous system needs to feel balanced. And if your answer in your own mind is like, man, I could be here for a couple years then it's probably just a little information for yourself as you move forward. And so allowing the limbs to feel heavy. The back is heavy. Torso heavy. The head is heavy. Imagining your entire self being cradled in a pillow of compassion and love that's just for you. If it's hard for you to imagine creating that pillow, just know that I'm holding that space for you. Allowing the breath to slow. Allowing deep, deep rest. And so if you are feeling like you really just want to stay here a little longer, you completely can. If you feel like your nervous system is somewhat balanced and you want to come up to the seated position, you can just simply roll over onto your side. Very gently roll yourself all the way up. Sitting here. Perhaps taking one or both hands and placing them on your physical body, again allowing this to center and ground you. Sending that care and love to you. And also practicing sending compassion out into the entire world, to every being, whether we truly like them or not. This is how our hearts grow. This is how we stay resilient. It's by practicing deep, deep compassion. My feeling is that many of you are just really good at this anyways, but keep practicing. Allowing that compassionate space in your heart to grow even bigger. Infinitely grow. Bring the palms together in front of the heart. We'll end with a little chant together. If you're into chanting, you can join me, or if you want, you can just listen. And this chant is Loka Samasta Sukhi no Bhavantu, which basically means like, may all my actions, my thoughts, everything I do in the world somehow contribute to other people's well-being. And so if you'd like to, you can join me taking a deep breath. Exhale it through the mouth. Inhale. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. I thank you all so much for your beautiful practice, your time, for joining. We are going to make this link, it's public, so that means that it'll be recorded. We can't see any of your beautiful faces, but you can share this link with others and they can access it for free. If you do feel inspired to contribute back to us in some way, there's ways to do that. You can buy a gift card at Karma Yoga. You can send me a donation for the teaching. My Venmo is Laurel Hicks 11. And 50% of everything that is brought in, I'm going to give back to a nonprofit, which is still to be decided. So if anyone has a really good one right now that holds people with experience, well, everyone's experiencing, but going through COVID, that can help support healthcare workers, like let's say, I don't know, getting more masks or things like that, or getting food to people that can't leave their house, or anything like that. If anyone has a good idea, I'd love to hear. You can write it in the chat, or you can email me at laurelhicksyoga@gmail.com, and I'll get it. Or you can email the studio as well. So I hope you all have a lovely day. I hope to see you again next week. Namaste. And I'll leave the chat box open for a bit in case anyone wants to add anything.